me here, and today it is finally time that we continue the LEGO life-size Captain Rex. As a quick recap of what progress we have gotten in the last episode, we have basically worked on the lower body of this massive LEGO sculpture. And in this week's episode, we will be continuing from that point there. And just to clear things up, this is not a week's worth of progress, but rather 3 or 4 weeks of continuously building this model to get it to this result here. And let me tell you guys, it is very much well worth it, because we are now beginning to see the entire construction of Captain Rex come together. Like, the legs have taken on the pose that we will be ultimately seeing in the end with this entire sculpture, and the frame of how exactly will they be positioned and everything that follows it with the camera is slowly beginning to take shape, and that is very exciting to see everything ultimately come together in such a manner. Starting off with the construction of the feet, with this digital model, we have built everything that we have done in real life and exceeded that progress, which is very good. And so as I was rebuilding the digital version of Captain Rex, I didn't reference my foot all over again. Instead, I used another set of reference material from a different statue and worked from there on out. I knew that some things were a little bit off with the Captain Rex model that I've been referencing because there were quite a number of mistakes. Well, in case of anything, this statue for sure doesn't have any mistakes because it is pretty spot on accurate with what other statues have in common. And what do you know, a couple of layers up into the foot of Captain Rex, there was a mistake. And so, on my real life version, there is a mistake. However, with this digital version, I have fixed everything, and what you are seeing right now is the final version of Captain Rex's feet. Other than that, we can see all of the very nice shapes that are coming together with the statue, especially with like how nicely the calves are beginning to look like from just basic rectangular bricks, and it all just looks so good in the end. We have also put together the camera, or at least the outline of what the camera would be looking like, surely with quite a lot of holes in it right now. It's still very far from complete, especially around the back. However, the basic idea of how exactly that is looking like is beginning to take shape, and that is very exciting. I'm also trying to make sure that the inside of the camera is accurate to what the actual model is looking like. So, you know, on top of the fact that with the camera, you're not only now having to pay attention with how exactly the front of the build is curved and how exactly that looks, the inside of the camera, or the parts that are exposed of it at least, I have to pay extra close attention, so now we have a inside layer and an outside layer to really match up and how exactly both sides should be looking like, aesthetically speaking. And finally, we are beginning to see the upper half of Captain Rex beginning to take shape with the Puldron, which the Puldron is nowhere near complete because there's supposed to be like a much larger part of like the blue segment that like sticks out, and you know, with the armor and everything. There are quite a number of areas of the build that are really supposed to take shape and still be added onto the build, so all of that is still ahead of us, despite so much work being put into everything that you guys could see in front of you. When you want something, you really work to it, and this is one of those instances to where whatever it takes to make this life-sized LEGO Captain Rex come together. That is it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Keep on building, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.